Welcome back to week 11 of the NFL season. This is our NFL bets show where we go through our three favorite bets of the week, including our locks of the week. Nick, Alex, and I had a nice little week. Corey, this might have been your worst week yet.
No, 0-3. Who would have thought? Who would have thought the
Oh, the
Lions?
Texans, lock of the year, lock of the century. It was looking real good to hit the money line all the way through, but 3.5 was never in doubt. And if Nico Collins would have played, we know what would have happened.
And that's where we made those bets, assuming
What?
we made those Texans bet, assuming he was going to play.
Well, I made them. I thought the money line was way likelier to hit if Nico played, but I was even confident, like I said, even with only Tank Dell, it was just such a good matchup for him. So anyway,
Well, I'm just saying that, when Jared Goff throws four interceptions, you expect to lose. The fact that they won that game, or five interceptions, the fact that he won that game is remarkable. And the Texans are overrated. So that's what we've learned from.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm guaranteed we'll have a great fade the Texans spot coming up at some point. That'll be all over. But all right, let's move on to
Oh, wait. No, you forgot to announce. Big
Richardson.
news. Richardson's back, baby. He's back.
Yeah, we'll see if Corey has another Colts. I know I have a bet in that game. We'll see what Corey has
I do
in
not.
store for us this week. But all right,
Scared money don't make no
Right?
money, Corey.
Yeah.
who wants to start us off?
I'll kick us off. We got a homer pick here. I got the Browns. I'm going to take the money line because it's only +1. But I'll lay the single point here for the Jameis Winston revenge tour game. The Saints are extremely decimated due to some trades. Things are not looking up for the Browns either, but I think Jameis Winston's going to be the X factor here. Going back down to New Orleans, hoping Jerry Jeudy could cook this defense a little bit. And, coming off of a bye week, hopefully Nick Chubb's feeling back another week or two back to himself. So hoping he progresses a little. Not expecting a pretty game by any means, but I think we sneak out with a win because we need to lose out. So we're going to start doing things that we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, the Saints defense, legit. Our corners might be the worst trio of corners like in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
A couple injuries, no more Lattimore. What are you going to do?
yeah, that's bad. Someone on the Browns is gonna have a game. So I like your Judy call.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll take over from here. Little Thursday night, dip my toes in the water here action with the Eagles and Commies over 48.5. This is both these teams are high powered offenses. Defenses, Eagles are coming into their own a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Their corners are not looking incompetent. Obviously the Redskins, oh my God, Commies, Commanders, they trade for Lattimore, helps out their secondary, who's, over the last
He's
couple of
gonna
years.
be out this game, but yeah.
Oh, he's not even playing this game?
Yeah, he's still dealing with the hamstring injury he got when he was on the
Okay.
Saints.
Well, I was gonna say, because over the last couple of years, and that shows DFS, any competent quarterback playing against the secondary, you play him in DFS because likely going to have a good game. Same thing kind of goes here. The both of these teams are in the top third in points per game, combining up to 57 points per game in the last 3 weeks. The last three meetings between these two teams has gone over 50 points, and the over has also hit in 7 of the last 8 Eagles home games. So just screams over, which I'm kind of scared because it screams at. Usually it's played to the under, but I'm going to take the cheese. I'm going to eat it and hopefully go 1-0. One of my bets this week.
All right. I am taking the Steelers +3 home dogs. Look, I don't make the rules. You always have to bet Tomlin as a home underdog. Um, Russell Wilson looking like Seahawks Russie, making those big moonball throws again. PB, I know you said it when he went there and got the start that him and Pickens games match up very well together, and we are seeing that week in and week out. On top of that, the Ravens secondary, we talk about it every time that we have a bet with them or against them. Their secondary is extremely beatable. I mean, we just saw Jamar Chase put up almost 300 yards on them. Um, and Kyle Hamilton got banged up last week. I'm not sure if he's in or not this week, but even more decimation to that already questionable secondary. But this is kind of purely a numbers play here. So bear with me. We're going to get in the weeds a little bit, guys. So since John Harbaugh got to Baltimore in 2008, favorites of 3+ in Ravens Steelers games are 2-18-3 ATS.
Wow.
Harbaugh is 0-10-2 ATS when favored by at least 3 points versus Pittsburgh. 26 of 32 regular season meetings have been decided by one possession, over half by a field goal or less. Tomlin versus Harbaugh as a dog. The dog is 23-6-3 ATS, and the average score in these matchups is 19.6 to 19.2. Literally zero point 0.4 points difference. I mean, it's about as even as it gets, and the overwhelming trend is that the underdog covers here. The juice right now is on the Ravens -3. So this is one, we're recording on Wednesday. It's one you may want to wait to put in, see if you can get that hook. But I am taking Tomlin as a home dog every single time that I can. He proves time and time again that you should not be betting against them in these spots.
That's crazy. Do we think they're the worst 7-2 team out there? Like, they don't seem like they're that good.
I loved the addition of Mike Williams, actually.
I mean,
It's another perfect guy, a guy that's really meshes well with
Yeah.
Russ.
Their defense is legit. That D line is
yeah.
a game record.
They're just like a good
Across the board.
team. They're just always a good team. Tomlin's an amazing coach. He's going to keep them in every single game. They don't get blown out, and they find ways to win.
Yep.
I know. Just 7-2 is such an odd thing.
Very odd, especially when you had Fields starting the first, what, 6
4 or 5 games.
Yeah, 6, I think. So
Colts beat them. So it's a facto. They're better than the
So what you're
Steelers.
saying is they're the worst 7-2 team because the Colts beat them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. My first bet of the week is going to be the Ravens Steelers under 48.5. I mean, when you think back just to these types of divisional matchups between these two teams specifically, like going back, you would see a line like this and be shocked. Like we've seen lines in the low 40s, mid, and what we've seen throughout the year is two offenses that have exceeded expectations. The Steelers are putting up points. Russ has exceeded expectations. The Ravens are obviously looking like a wagon, and I think 9 of their last 10 games have gone to the over. So what do you get? You get this kind of inflated line to go with that between these two teams. I think we're going to get just a classic divisional matchup, defensive battle. I mean, the Ravens, looking at their schedule, like they they've played a few decent defenses. I would label the Broncos as one. They put up like 41 on them, and then the Bills are really the only other team. They put up 35 on them. But the Steelers, they're a team in their division that they have a game plan for Lamar Jackson. Like that's baked into how, before the season starts, like when we play the Ravens, like they're gonna have a game plan to face him. And so I think this is kind of a Ravens back down to earth spot. A little bit of a closer game and a total that stays under here. Talking DFS, like probably just like an avoid game for me, but love the under in this spot.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yep.
All right, on to pick number 2. Then I'm going with potential AFC championship, a little modern day rivalry, Chiefs Bills. I'm going to go with the over because we are guaranteed at least 14 points in the last 2 minutes of the game, even if it's a slow game. So, I mean, over under 48, both these teams got a pace to 24. I think two great offenses that could, just kind of go off at any point in time. So, um, I think it's going to be a grind, but thinking that, on the Chiefs side, they have Xavier Worthy and DeAndre Hopkins, a little bit different look from years past. And, we got Amari Cooper on the other side. So some different playmakers. Maybe there's some, tricks up the old sleeve on either side um, than what we're used to seeing in this matchup. But I'm expecting it to be a fun one and something to go down the wire, but I'll just take the points. I think the Bills are going to win, but we'll see. It's
And it's
scary to bet against the Chiefs right now, so
well,
taking the over.
it's hard to go undefeated in the NFL. So you think this would be one
The
game
spot.
spot where the Chiefs would
Yeah,
slip up. I wouldn't say slip up because obviously the Bills are a pretty good team. I also thinking like this, like if you think this is like the AFC Championship game potentially, like not bringing out all the stops now because I mean these are essentially they're both these teams locked in their playoff spots already essentially. So like just kind of keeping things close to the chest, just maybe kind of a run grind it out type of game. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Just because again, if they think they're going to play each other in playoffs, don't want to show everything. But I can see it going either way. But yeah, I'll take my second pick here. I'm gonna buy here. I'm gonna buy the Bengals plus 1.5. Going to LA, play the Chargers. I mean, that is a must win. I mean, last week was a must win. I think Zach Taylor going for that. I get it. Like it's a divisional game. You got to do something to probably to win. But like, I mean, you don't the play that you called that can't be your best 2 point play in your playbook because one, Jamar Chase wasn't even the first look. Jamar Chase was 12 receptions, 200 plus yards. Like, dude's on fire. No one can guard him. And you don't try to throw the ball to him. You throw to, was it Drew Sample
Mike
or
Gesicki, I thought.
it was Mike Gesicki? Okay,
It was there was two penalties that weren't called on the play, but
regardless of the fact, but you don't go to, like, you play the end game to throw to your best player and they go to Gesicki. I get it. Gesicki's been good, but like, I think that was a boneheaded play. Zach Taylor got too deep into his bag of tricks and just tried to fool the defense when you should just kick the extra point, gone to overtime, and
I disagree with that. The 2 point was the right call, but
okay.
it's
If it
always
was
the
the right
right
call,
call.
it was the wrong play. We can sit here, but anyways, yeah, I mean the Bengals they need to win this game. They got to start winning games out. That what are they 4-6 right now? 3-7. What are they?
Yeah, well, I part of my next pick I was going to talk about. There's three teams in my opinion that one of them is going to make it to the playoffs, probably over the Broncos, and that's the Jets, the Dolphins, or the Bengals. Likeliest the Bengals, but those are like the three teams that I think have the chance to make it to the playoffs
Okay.
on a run.
Well, let me before you get to there, and then I'll front you on your three picks here. But Bengals are 4-1 ATS. Last five, Cincinnati's 5-0 ATS. Last five games on the road against LA. Chargers 3-6-1 ATS. This is a money line spot too. I think the Bengals win this game just with their sure offensive firepower. T Higgins may be back. Orlando Brown may be back. So give me the Bengals there.
Alex, you want to go?
Oh, I thought you were getting teed
Yeah.
up for the next
Oh,
one.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my pick's the Jets, Colts over 43.5. We'll get into my lock, which is also from this game after, but I just think this game is just kind of set up to be like a sneaky shootout spot. Anthony Richardson now gets the full support, after, you know, Joe Flacco kind of taking over and not really a huge reason why. Well, now it's just I don't think he has to look over his shoulder anymore. Like he's going to be the guy. And whether he's sucking or doing well, he's going to stay out there. And so we know Richardson is capable of just having these flash plays, these chunk plays that can really speed up the game, where other teams are forced into, passing and it becoming this back and forth game. Colts also play up in pace, and the Jets defense, I still think it's good, but since Robert Saleh has been fired, it has taken a swing downward. Like it just hasn't been quite what we've seen out of them. And so, I could see that adding some points to this game. And then on the Jets side, they are in do or die mode, win out, you know, to make the playoffs. Like it's complete do or die mode right now. And I think Rodgers is going to be able to. The Colts defense early in the year, we were targeting him, or I was targeting him like every week. Then I saw some flashes of whatever that one guy was, Kenny Moore looking okay in the slot. But I think with two alpha receivers like Adams and Garrett Wilson, they're just going to be able to just wreak havoc against this Colts secondary. Like Rodgers, I think is going to be able to do whatever he wants in this game, and I think there's just going to be points, a bit back and forth here, and it's going to go over this 43.5 point total.
All right. For my second pick of week 11, I'm going to be taking the Broncos at home minus 2.5. Broncos hung in there with the Chiefs all game, coming off of a statement loss, if there can ever be such a thing. But, that defense is legit. They have been the last couple of years, and they're right back into form, right back to where they were. Held Mahomes to a 37% success rate, which would rank 31st in the NFL this season out of 32 qualifying quarterbacks. And that's largely because they're able to run cover 0 and cover 1 a ton. They trust their corners on the outside to play one-on-one with receivers, and that coverage frees up the blitz, which I think is going to cause a fairly immobile Kirk Cousins issues. And then on the other side, you've got kind of the opposite trend going, where the Falcons' biggest flaw all year has been the inability to get pressure on quarterbacks. They ranked 29th out of 32 in pressure rate. And so Bo Nix is going to be operating from clean pockets the entire game. I think the Falcons are fairly overvalued in the market right now. I don't think they're as good as what we expected them to be going into the season. And teams coming off of statement losses are 16-3-1 ATS the last 2 seasons, which is a stat that I just made up. But I think the Broncos get it done at Mile High and get back on track here, come away with a win at home.
I was going to ask you how
What
the market
qualifies?
define a statement loss exactly?
Losing on a blocked field goal
Yeah.
against a superior team. Statement loss.
Statement loss.
Well, hopefully that guy who's playing left guard or left tackle,
Exposed, completely exposed.
not even only in that game, but like
Oh,
I
I
saw
know.
clips from other games where he
Dude,
was getting blown off the ball.
There was like a 5-minute highlight reel of him just getting pancaked left and right.
Yeah. Not a good look for him, and he got exposed like that, man. He's got a family to feed, and he probably got cut.
I mean, that's the Chiefs being the Chiefs. I mean, they saw that stuff on film, and they knew who to attack in that given instance.
And the fact that they set it up the entire game, like, was insane. Like,
That's why they're the Chiefs, man.
make that special teams coordinator a head coach somewhere.
Yeah, the Chiefs are inevitable, as we know.
All right, Nick, round us off here.
All right, lock of the week going Rams minus 4.5 against the Patriots. So betting against the home dogs here, but Patriots beat up on a bad Bears team. Sorry, Alex, but you guys just aren't in rhythm right now.
You're not wrong.
And I think that probably impacts the line more than it should have. And then obviously the Rams also didn't do so hot in primetime Monday night against what looked to be a pretty stout Dolphins defense. I think Stafford gets back into form here, you expect the veterans to kind of snap back after a tough loss like that. They've only put up like 13 points. So this Patriots defense is the perfect one to get back into a playoff push and build some momentum against. I think it's a huge must-win spot for them. And Patriots are just trying to build on the success of Drake May, but I think we'll see what McVay can cook up on the defensive side. So I like them a lot, 4.5 here.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, you forgot to, talk about the most glaring stat of them all is New England is 2-10-2 ATS in the last 14 games played on Sunday when playing at home. So, I mean, that's not a good stat line. The Patriots have one good cornerback, which is Christian Gonzalez. He's very good. Yeah. But the Rams have two amazing receivers and, obviously Cooper Kupp and Puka, which I think Puka now is the number one there. I mean, he gets targeted way more than Kupp. We were talking about this the other day.
It's one A, one B type. It's not like a complete. It's like a one.
Yeah.
I get it, but every time I'm looking at the screen, Puka's getting the ball thrown at him. As long as he doesn't punch anyone in the head, he's good to go for 10 targets a game at least. But yeah, I mean, just a classic sell high spot for the Patriots, who won the last three. Classic buy low for the Rams, who obviously everyone just saw lost on Monday night to a really, really good Dolphins defense. I don't think people give credit to that Dolphins defense.
They look really good.
Yeah, they were just playing without Tua for 4 weeks and just constantly on the field. So yeah, and again, the Rams run game against this Patriots run defense. I mean, the Rams all the chips are just in on the Rams side here, and there's nothing.
Yeah, they match up perfectly. I think it's 130-yard average for the Patriots on the ground. Pretty weak offensive line for the Patriots. I think Jared Verse, great blitzer. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Drake May, force him out of the pocket. And I know he's had some good throws, like improvising, but I don't know if a rookie's able to do that so consistently week over week.
I might say the only thing I would like from this game would take Drake May's take his over on his rushing yards. I feel like he's going to be, because they're going to have to score points and keep drives alive, and he's going to be running the ball a lot. So
I mean, they were just picking on that one corner for the Bears last week, Stevenson, I think.
Tyreek. Yep.
Yeah. So they weren't able to do much else.
Yeah.
All right. Did everyone else give their last pick?
No, that was our first lock.
Second.
Okay.
Second lock. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
My lock of the week is going to be the Chiefs plus 2.5 game we've talked about on a couple of different occasions here, but this is another I don't make the rules spot. These spots where Mahomes is an underdog are few and far between, and whenever you get them, you take them. He is 11-3 straight up and 12-1-1 ATS as an underdog in his career. Fun fact, the only ATS loss he suffered was in 2022 at Arrowhead against Josh Allen when they were plus 2.5 dogs at home. As we said, the Chiefs, they're just inventing new ways to win every single week. They're winning big, they're winning small, they're winning by blocking field goals at the last second. You name it, they've done it. Just the classic Patriots 2.0 dynasty, next man up mentality. They lose starting running back, they lose, their top two receiving options on the outside. And, these games always come down to the last drive with these two teams, and it always seems like Mahomes has the ball. It just is it's how it works out. I am for forever and always the rest of Patrick Mahomes' career as an underdog. I will be betting the Chiefs.
I threw them in a teaser with the Bengals. You could get them for both more than a touchdown.
Yeah. The 2.5 is a little scary because I think that they're going to be the piece in every single person's teaser. So that scares me a little, but again, you get them over a touchdown. I don't think the Bills are gonna if they do win, I don't think they're going to beat them by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes has rarely lost games by
Yep.
that much.
Mm.
Um, okay. My lock of the week is kind
Or
of
shit.
about it. It's Jets. It's Jets
Sorry.
minus 3.5. I kind of talked about it already. So the Jets haven't put up more than 24 points, I think, all year. You know, it was Rodgers at the beginning after an Achilles. Then they get Devontae Adams, and then they're trying to get realigned. And I think the last few weeks are finally starting to get. I mean, Devontae Adams is like sleeping with the man, or sleeping like at his house. You know what I mean?
Pause.
What? You know,
Pause.
Sorry, what?
Devontae Adams is sleeping at his house. That's what I meant to say. Like
Can you confirm it's in a different room or same room?
maybe they're doing ayahuasca things in the same room together. Who knows? My
Probably the
point
same
is,
sources that Kamara trade.
my point is that they were apart for a little while. They came back. As you can see, he's been Rodgers' favorite target. Like he's targeted him like 13 or 14 times last week. He had like two or three shots in the end zone, like on the goal line. They missed that. You saw them in Green Bay, just touchdown, touchdown, touchdown all the time. That's what's going to be happening this week against the Colts. The Colts defense, at the beginning of the year, I mentioned already, looked terrible. We were targeting them. Then, they had some good games in there, but against like alpha receivers, which I do consider Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams to be, I'm always going to take them plus a quarterback that, yes, he's not looked as good as he has in his prime, but I mean, they have so many weapons with Brees Hall there too. I think the Jets are turning it on this week, and I think they're going to go on a run here. I do still think they're going to go on a run. I don't think it's still unlikely they make the playoffs, and I think the Bengals or Dolphins are likelier to beat them out, but I think they go on a run.
Um,
Starts here with the Colts, just like putting up their first 30-point plus game. It's happening.
Rodgers is only you mentioned earlier about throwing deep. Rodgers is only averaging 6.5 yards per pass attempt. So it's not like he's like they're really like aligned with like I feel like long like just drives that are just based off dink and dunk passes. I'm not saying that that's the entire case of their offense, but I mean that's what it's shown this year at least. And not being biased whatsoever, I think that the Colts locker room was a little bit in shambles last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, based off things that Shane Steichen said today. Richardson wasn't preparing the way a quarterback should preparing, whether that means he was late to team meetings, not practicing hard enough, not lifting, whatever it might be. I think he learned his lesson. I think the whole locker room is fucking fired up. I, I
That's why it's going over, Corey. That's why we bet
the
over
over is
too.
good. Fine,
That's
you
why we
can take
bet
the
the
over.
over too.
The 3.5 though, I and I'm not being biased. I'm just saying, like,
Not at all.
not at all. I just think this is Colts are one of the best teams against the spread this year. It's just not a good spot for the Jets. I don't know. It's the
And you
Jets.
Jets
have
have not played up to their potential at all.
I know.
On paper,
they
they're
haven't
great,
played up
but
to their
they have
potential, and this is when they like play up to it, where people are like, okay, that's the Jets I thought that we were getting this year. This will be that game. I'm telling you right now, the Jets are just going to they're just going to be scoring so often this game. You're just going to be looking at the screens. Devontae Adams touchdown, Brees Hall 50-yard touchdown.
Okay.
Like it's just going to be that over and over again. And then yeah, Richardson, playing catch up, whatever, bombed Alec Pierce or whatever, something like that happens. Ashton Doolin, some rando.
Okay,
Anthony
chill.
Richardson.
Ashton Doolin, special teams player of the year.
Or Anthony Richardson, pick six because he's gonna be playing catch up, and then the Jets defense shows up, and then boom, points, points, points. Jets cover, 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 blowout, boom.
The one thing, and we'll end the show here. You said the Colts are obviously the next team out in the playoffs based off their record right now.
Oh, I never even consider the Colts have no chance of making the playoffs.
Do you know who they? Do you know they're after they play the Jets and then the Lions, they have no team besides I think it's the Broncos over a 300 mark in terms of their win percentage.
Again,
I'm saying they got to wait to the playoffs. You got to win one of these next two. And then you
The
got a
Colts
very,
have
very, very favorable matchups
zero
throughout.
chance at the play. I'll tell you there's six teams that are like locked in my opinion, and then it's just the seventh. So you have the Bills, you have the Chiefs, the Chargers, Steelers, Ravens, Texans. They're in the playoffs. So you have one spot left, and that spot then you have, so yes, the Colts are 4-6, like the Bengals are 4-6, Broncos are 5-5, Jets are 3-7, Dolphins are 3-6. Colts are done. They're out. Now the Broncos are the team that's in the lead right now. Don't think they make it. It's coming down to the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. One of those teams are making the playoffs. My lean is the Bengals, but could be the Jets or Dolphins too. We'll see who goes on the best run of those three. It will not be the Colts. I'll tell you that right now.
So if you can just figure out how to just not turn the ball over like one less times, I'm saying it's the Colts.
Maybe,
Not
maybe in a
biased.
few
Not
years,
biased.
maybe in a few years, maybe next year, not this year.
Okay.
If you
Not coming back against the Jets defense, which again has underperformed, but I think against Anthony Richardson might be a little get right spot for him.
Okay.
PB, if you truly feel that way, you should hop on this ticket I got. Bengals 50-1 Super Bowl.
I know, yeah, I agreed. I like that ticket, but again, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, so it's
Yeah,
just like it's so hard. But
but
no, at 50-1, I should probably go make. I should probably just go take a Jets, a Dolphins, and Bengals. Just I bet you get the Jets at like 7,500 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. Just
7,500 to 1.
I bet you like I could bet you get
That's
yeah
huge.
75 or 100 to 1.
You said 7,500.
75 to 100 to 1. But I'll probably bet all three of those to make the playoffs because you probably get decent odds on that. But yeah, so if you wanted to know who's making the playoffs in the AFC, there you go. You have the answers now. Um, but all right, that'll do it for this episode. We got what 6, 7 weeks left till
7.
the playoffs.
Yeah, crazy.
Go
Home
Flying
stretch.
coming down the stretch here. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.